most of you will have seen, if you watch the Opataya fight, that Charlie Parsons was part of the DAZN broadcast team. Little Charlie, you can see him there on the right, and he actually did the face-off between Opataya and Nika, which was very strange. Now, to be fair, Parsons, in terms of his questions and in terms of his communication skills, he's quite good. But because he's so small and young, and he's got kind of a weird looking face, and because of the fact that he gets relentlessly bullied by Eddie Hearn, it was still a bit weird to watch. You know what I mean? It was a bit weird to watch. Parsons up there, doing the face-off between Opataya and Nika. Now, there's a dynamic which I have observed, I think is there, all right? I'm an outsider looking in, but this appears to be what the case is, where Turki Al-Sheikh uses Eddie Hearn as a whipping boy. He doesn't appear, at least not from the interactions I've seen, at least not from what these people have said in interviews, he doesn't appear to treat Frank Warren or Spencer Brown in the contemptuous way that he treats Eddie Hearn. Now, Eddie Hearn tries to pass off the stuff that Turki Al-Sheikh says to him as banter, but the fact that Eddie Hearn keeps bringing it up leads me to believe that he actually doesn't like it. That Turki Al-Sheikh will ring his phone a bunch of times and literally act as though Eddie is his servant. And a lot of these, Saudi royals or nobles, in this case, I guess he's like an advisor to the royal court, so he'd be considered a noble. They grow up having a bunch of people around them, servants or whatever, who they can order around and talk to in whatever way they wish. And so now that Eddie Hearn is apparently being spoken to like that, I don't think he likes it. I think he's tolerating it for the money. And I think in a roundabout way, he kind of admitted that in a recent interview. So Eddie is Turkey's whipping boy. And as far as I can tell, Eddie Hearn takes that frustration out from being a whipping boy on Charlie Parsons. Because literally every interview, I know Eddie Hearn again, he's going to try to pass it off as banter, but he will absolutely tear into and roast Charlie Parsons for sometimes like 10 minutes early on in an interview. In some interviews, it's more lighthearted than others, but in certain interviews, it's like full-on hazing. You guys know what hazing is? It's like full-on hazing of Charlie Parsons to the point where Charlie is, you can tell, a bit uncomfortable. Again, he's trying to pass it off like he's taking a joke, but in some interviews anyway, you can tell he's uncomfortable with it. So, yeah, I think that's partly because of Eddie Hearn being the whipping boy for Turkey. He then takes the frustration out on poor Charlie Parsons. However, he's also rewarding Charlie Parsons for being his whipping boy. Presumably that's how Charlie got the gig, presenting for the Opataya fight. And I don't know whether this is true, by the way, but somebody mentioned this to me in my Element group. But I was told that Turkey actually owns Charlie Parsons' YouTube channel, The Stomping Ground. No idea if that's true or not. If any of you can confirm in the chat, let me know. But yeah, I thought it was a funny little dynamic going on there. The hierarchy of bullying with Turkey at the top, obviously. I'm not going to include Frank Warren and Spencer Brown because I haven't seen any evidence that they get bullied by Turkey. So I don't think they're in this hierarchy. They're outside of it. I mean, obviously they defer to Turkey. He's the money man. But again, I get the impression he treats them with a lot more respect. But in terms of the bullying dynamics, Turkey at the top, then Eddie, then young Charlie at the bottom.